More business news for you now. British Finance Minister Kwasi Kwarteng has unveiled a mini-budget covering historical tax cuts and huge increases in borrowing. Part of the agenda plans to scrap the top income tax rates. Now, strong opposition from the Labour Party, which called the mini-budget a desperate gamble. The economic agenda has floored financial markets, an indication that the spending plan has failed to soothe recession fears. The FTSE sliding 2%, while the pound sterling plummets to a fresh 37-year low against the greenback. Now, joining us for more on this is Ollie Barrett from London. Ollie, the market's not taking this well at all. We're, removing the top tax rates, other cuts, while at the same time doling out huge subsidies. How will the government actually fund this support package?
Well, Roland, the government says that over the medium to long term, all of this will be funded essentially by higher growth levels in the UK economy. It says that these changes will lead to higher GDP. They'll lead to the economy being more competitive and attracting more investment from overseas. But the government is also acknowledging that in the short term, at least, it is going to be paid for with higher borrowing costs at a time when the cost of that borrowing is spiking on international markets as well. So that's part of the reason that there is such concern from some investors about the plans that are being rolled out today. And you mentioned the fact that the pound was sliding, particularly against the US dollar, in the moments after Kwasi Kwarteng set out his mini budget. It has since recovered some of that ground, but clearly investors have deep concerns about what was in the Chancellor's new plan. You were describing it, and we all were as well, as a mini budget. Well, given the details that Kwasi Kwarteng set out, I think we can now say that it is not mini at all. It's very, very large in scale indeed. In fact, analysts are saying this is the biggest package of tax cuts for the UK economy seen since the 1980s for sure, and perhaps as far back as 1972.
So it's a huge package. So what kind of pushback are we going to be expecting, both internally and externally?
The political pushback is already very much underway. The opposition Labour Party say that this is reckless. They say it's trickle-down economics. They say that it's leading to higher borrowing costs at a time when the UK may not be able to afford that over a medium to long-term period. They also say that these changes will benefit the wealthiest much more than they will benefit the poorest. But you've also got criticism coming from some quarters of the Conservative Party itself. Some of those MPs sitting behind Kwasi Kwarteng as he set out this statement were very troubled indeed by some of what they heard. Many of those believe that the borrowing issue is a significant one. Many of them believe that this package will actually increase inflation at a time of spiking cost of living rather than helping deal with it. There are those Conservative MPs, though, it should be said, who are over the moon about the package that Kwasi Kwarteng has unveiled. For a long time, there have been a number of Conservative MPs who've been saying they need to cut taxes more to stimulate the economy. Those MPs have got what they wanted.
All right. I'm also hearing the Chancellor has removed the cap on bankers' bonuses to revive London's status as a financial hub. Now, how's that being received?
Again, very mixed and depends who you ask. It will certainly be something that is going to open up the Conservative Party to further attacks and accusations that they are in this for the wealthiest rather than lower income households and lower income individuals and smaller businesses. It opens them up to that accusation. But again, the response from the government has been that this is about making sure that the UK economy is as competitive internationally as possible. Kwasi Kwarteng said in his statement that he believed this would help attract further investment into the City of London. And it's one of those things that the UK is able to do now, having left the European Union. So that will be part of the political debate here as well, whether it's a Brexit benefit or something that's deeply unwise.
Thanks for sharing, Ollie. Ollie Barrett, live in London.